Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Hump Day edition of Today in Sports Betting. Taking a look at the NBA, Scott, as we come down the home stretch here, stagger to the finish line. 6 games tonight. Scott, don't care about any of them. No, there's actually a couple pretty good games here tonight. Are you excited to see Cleveland in action once again?
Well, for the record, before we actually get into some of the games for tomorrow, I gotta be honest, I've done a complete 180 on this Warriors team. They're phenomenal on television. Like, I criticize them.
Can't get enough of them.
I criticize them the whole year. This team I can't watch. This team stinks. And then Oubre got injured. And then I guess Curry was going nuts anyway. But now Curry's attempting like 15 threes a game.
Yeah.
I kind of have to watch them play. They're just a lot of fun. Is Curry just running in circles and then Wiggins randomly goes for 38?
Well, and it's fun to watch Curry just drive to the hole because he goes,
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I can do this anytime I want to.
He went 1 for 11 from 3, and you wouldn't have even noticed because he made that finger roll layup at the end.
That was unbelievable.
They're a very fun team to watch, but I also don't know. We can go into this on the radio show tomorrow, but I said the Suns I really didn't think had it. I didn't they had enough firepower to make a deep playoff run. Now you probably know why I wasn't all in on the Suns, because you lose to the Lakers with no LeBron, and then you lose to the Warriors in a game you probably should have won with Golden State on a back-to-back. Not really a great look for Phoenix.
Nope, not the way you want. Not the way you want to hit the ground running there as you head to the playoffs. So,
also with Utah, because Golden State just beat them. But we can talk about Golden State when they play. I know Utah's playing tomorrow, so we'll keep that in mind. But, yeah, there's something to keep in mind. Golden State, I actually might go out of my way to watch them play.
Entertaining. Very entertaining team. So, Scott, got a couple of games on TV. A couple of interesting games. For once, I don't really disagree with either one of these games as picked as the TV games.
I am shocked that ESPN has not tried to flex LeBron's return to television against Houston. You know how annoyed TNT was probably since LeBron randomly decided not to play? I'm sure the ratings were fine anyway because you had the Lakers and the Knicks and they have good fan bases. But Knicks, I mean, come on. You got LeBron coming back potentially against the Knicks, and now they play Houston and it's not on TV. I'm thrilled because I don't want to watch Houston on TV. But I feel like the TV, ESPN airing some games that kind of wish they had a crew there.
They'll probably do live cut-ins, bud.
Yeah.
But the time frame doesn't work out because the TV game's actually an hour earlier than LeBron.
Yeah, it doesn't work out at all, so I understand why they did it. But, yeah, I'm not complaining about the games. You got a rematch between the Wizards and the Hawks, and you have Portland against Utah. Those are 2 pretty good games.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Wizards and Hawks game. Hawks have handled the Wizards pretty much all season long. They had a meltdown there on Monday night as they had a 17-point lead at the end of 3 quarters. Ended up winning by 1 in a game that they could have lost as Westbrook clanged a 3-pointer there as time expired. Scott, Atlanta's minus 5.5 here. We don't have a total on this one. You got a total anywhere?
No, I don't have a total yet.
I don't know. How you feeling about this one? Was that just an aberration that fourth quarter when the Wizards actually ended up going 17 for 21 in the fourth quarter? That'll gain you some ground right there, bud.
Oh, actually, I just checked on FanDuel. The total's 239.
239 for this one.
And that has to be the play, right? Just over.
It has to. You have to play the over here. This Wizards defense has been. They've been bad all season, but they've been awful coming down the stretch.
I was going to say that's an oxymoron because their defense used to be bad. Now they just don't have a defense.
They've replaced it. They've replaced it with those cardboard figures that were sitting in the seats last year.
I believe it's called the Matador defense.
131.2 points per game in their last 6. Scott, they haven't given up less than 125 in that stretch.
I feel like
giving up 125 to the Hawks the other night when the Hawks were ice cold in the fourth quarter. So.
Now, of course, you have an immediate back-to-back, and people might be saying, well, they just saw each other. The defense might step up. I took the over in the second game between Indiana and Washington after the back-to-back.
Yeah.
That game still landed 248 in regulation, then went to overtime. This game should be close. If I was going to play it on a spread, I wouldn't take Atlanta because I do think that Washington they have, I don't know, this team has something where they might not win the game at the end, but they're always, within striking distance, and I'll give them props for it. Even without Beal, they kept the game really close.
Well, they didn't keep the game really close, Scott.
No, I'm saying, but at the
they
end.
shot out of their butts.
Correct, but I'm saying they find a way to keep it. They find a way to keep it close. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, except for the first time they played when they lost by 16. But point taken.
I kind of meant in the last couple of weeks, but sure.
Oh, okay. All right.
Since they went on their hot streak, but I like the over. I'm not going to overthink this. You got Trae Young, who's hunting for fouls. He had 36, I think, the other night. Westbrook had, what do you have, 28, 21, and 12 or something? Like something stupid.
You're nuts.
So I'll take the over.
All right. Yeah, I think that has to be the play, as this one ended up, 249 the other night without overtime. So
yeah.
Yep. All right. And the late game, Scott, it is kind of the best game of the night, I would say, as far as the West goes, for sure. It's Portland at Utah.
I'm not a big fan of this Utah team, but when they are at home, I kind of have to give them respect.
Laying a small number there at 4.5, it's very tempting. It looks like Conley will not be playing, nor will Donovan Mitchell.
See, I don't know when Utah is going to start benching people, because Utah did end up losing to Golden State the other night, but so did Phoenix. So what exactly does Utah have left anyway? We already talked about how there were a couple games ahead of Philly. Philly lost to Indiana yesterday.
Right.
Phoenix lost as well. Utah can probably rest Gobert and half their people, and they'll still be the 1 seed. Who cares?
Yeah, they have. They've got a 2-game lead on the Suns right now, with 3 games left.
And I'm not sure who is the tiebreaker there, but
you thought it was Phoenix last night. Have you given that second thought?
No, it is Phoenix.
Okay.
I had to remember they went to overtime and they had a couple close games. But yeah, Phoenix does have the tiebreaker.
Yep. So, I mean, the Jazz still have motivation to play, yes?
That's what I'm saying, is that you can make an argument that they might do a Philly situation yesterday, which was technically we have motivation. We're basically locked into our spot, so we're not going to play Embiid. You think that they have motivation, and then you realize after the game against Portland, Utah plays at Oklahoma City and at Sacramento. They could probably rest everybody for this game.
That's finishing it up pretty well.
Imagining resting Gobert and Boyan so you have a healthy team against Oklahoma City. That's hilarious to me. That's so funny. But that's what I think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to play half their people. Do you? I mean, you have basically 2 layups on the horizon. I don't know why you'd even bother.
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. And of course, as it sits here, we have nobody listed on the injury list.
Well, of course, Mitchell's out for the rest of the season, for the regular season.
Well, Mitchell and Conley are out, right?
Yeah, they're going to be out. But I just can't get past the fact that Portland is still playing for something. You make an argument that Utah is probably not going to face Portland in the playoffs, but maybe you don't want to fully tip your hand if you might see them. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe, I guess. I mean, it's
what is Portland right now? Portland's the 6?
Portland's tied with the Mavericks on the 5-6 line.
Well, for the 5 line, that means they might actually play in the second round. If Portland gets the 5.
Yeah, correct.
So, maybe. Of course, that's a long way down the road, but you got to sometimes pull out the conspiracy angles when you think a team might rest half their players.
Well, and both of these teams, that was a big win for the Lakers, because both of these teams are just a game ahead of the Lakers to stay out of the play-in game. So,
well, both those teams, you mean Dallas and Portland.
Dallas and Portland, right?
Hmm.
Yep. So
I know Portland's going to give it all they have. If I'm Utah and you see Oklahoma City up next, why even bother? That's my stance.
Like to get it out of the way right here.
I was going to say, had Phoenix won tonight, then I think you would have had a lot more pressure. But with Phoenix losing, you really need a monumental collapse, and you have the worst team in the league on deck, or the second worst with Cleveland, depending on if Dort plays, and Sacramento, who has no talent on the active roster.
Yep, absolutely true.
I'm going to go with Portland, because I'm going to assume that Gobert and company might not play.
Yep, I think that's solid. I don't see a total. You got a total anywhere on this?
Let me see if I have one. Sorry. No, I do not.
All right, then it's time to play America's favorite game, Scott. Guess that total.
I just said half the players might be out for Utah.
Well, what's it open at? Not what it changes to after.
So assuming that the people are projected to play but not actually, I'll say I'll go 232.
232, the man says.
Portland's defense has actually been somewhat decent lately. I know you wouldn't be able to tell because Houston had a good game, but Portland scored 50 in the first quarter. They killed them. But
229, Scott.
Okay. Either way. But
first game this season was 225 and a half. It landed 220. Second game, they bumped it up to 232 and a half. It landed 225. I think they make the correction. I think we're back down to 28 and a half.
I'm going to like the under in the game, but
yeah.
Overall, you're looking at Portland +4 on the money line at around +40. If you want to try to gamble on beating some injury report news, it makes a lot of sense for Utah to rest a lot of guys, and Portland's got to win this game.
If you got access to this, if you're somewhere with FanDuel or DraftKings,
I don't know if BetOnline has it for some people who are not in those areas.
BetOnline does not have this game listed. At least that's what Don Best does not have BetOnline.
But I'm assuming we're in agreement. It's either Portland or passes right now.
Yeah. I'm always looking for the team that has more motivation. I think Portland is more desperate in this situation than Utah Jazz. So even if they play everybody, I still like Portland.
That's fair.
All right. Like I said, short card. Anything else get your attention?
Let's see. We got the Lakers laying 14 against Houston, where we think LeBron's coming back.
I'm tired of playing this game.
I've been tired of playing this game with every team in the league for the last 3 months.
That's true.
But the thing is, you look at the Lakers, they just had a huge overtime game against the Knicks, which I'm sure you would not have expected to hear at the beginning of the season. But Davis was limping around in the entire second half, so he might have re-aggravated something. He ended up playing. Didn't really come out, but it was either a knee or a foot issue. But he was limping around. You could tell he was somewhat compromised.
His paw. He's got to cut his paw.
But the point that I'm trying to say is that I wouldn't be surprised against the Rockets if maybe AD doesn't play and LeBron plays and you do the rotation. You do the tag team wrestling idea of just subbing one in for the other. Do I want to lay 14 with the Lakers? No. So it's either Houston or pass for me, but why would I ever want to bet on Houston?
Well, of course, everybody worth a damn on Houston is questionable.
Correct. But that's the thing.
Porter's questionable. Wood's questionable.
But you look at Houston anyway. They've been covering numbers.
I know. It's totally inexplicable, but yes.
Covered against Milwaukee, covered against Utah, covered against Portland. They're covering some numbers.
I know, and there's no apparent reason for it, but you're absolutely right. That's a gutty team, man. It's
they try.
It's kind of a shame they had the middle of their season and the injuries derailed them and everything. They were going to be a fun team to watch there without Harden, but
well, that's the thing is that you look at Steven Silas and you just go, "Oh, terrible coach. His record's terrible," and you're like, "No, he's actually not bad. It's just the team itself is useless." But you actually watch Silas. This team plays hard. They just don't have much talent.
You're right. You're absolutely right. All right.
I feel like we got to talk about my team because we have some news potentially, which should cause this line to move a lot. The Nets, of course, did end up beating Chicago yesterday, but it's a back-to-back. I know Kyrie got hit in the face at the end of the game. I'm assuming he'll play in this one. You might see a masked Kyrie.
Well, it's Kyrie because I'm sure he had it coming.
But Durant hasn't played a back-to-back in, I don't know, this decade.
4 seasons.
He hasn't played in a back-to-back in a while, but there are rumors that James Harden might be coming back. And they face off against a San Antonio team that is still scoring after the Milwaukee game, 87 points in the first half. But Nets are favored by 4. It's going to be in Brooklyn. No total. I don't want to overreact to the Spurs having one good offensive game, but don't I have to like the over in the spot?
I just want
Harden coming back.
I just want the Nets.
That's fair too.
I don't care. I don't hate the over. I think that's a good play. I like the Nets here. And by the way, I don't think by the time this video is released, I don't think you're going to be able to sniff 4.
Assuming that the Harden rumors are actually true, he doesn't pull LeBron and opts out at the last second, probably going to be 6.5 or 7.
You gotta love FanDuel and DraftKings. Let's just put a number up there. Well, but they don't know if Harden's coming.
Listen, we don't know anything, but the Pacers are 3 points better than the Cavs according to our model.
Just I don't know who's got their book. I don't know who does their book and the ratings and power rankings, but they're not good.
It's right across the water for me, but I'm really curious what the limits are on some of these wagers.
Yeah, I agree.
If you have some whales at these sites, there's no way they're being able to bet more than
No.
what do you think, $1,000 tops?
Tops, yeah. I think every one of these games that comes out early has got to be circled.
That's what I assume.
Yeah, my God, if you could.
It's a dream.
And where DraftKings? Where else are they? They're in a lot of places, aren't they?
Philadelphia. They're in Penn.
Yeah, I know, but are they? I wonder if they're in Iowa.
Well, I know that more sports books have opened up. Like I know Michigan now is legal sports betting, so I'm not sure if DraftKings is there, but it might be.
I'll have to look that up, dude. I'm seriously need to make a trip. And
I only know about which states have the legal gambling. I'm not sure which books are offered where.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know they have it in Illinois, have it in Iowa.
Like Fox Bet, for example, is only legal in like 5 states, and yet you have like double-digit states that have legal sports betting. So I'm not really sure why they haven't just moved over, but sure.
Well, not everybody can get licensed everywhere, bud.
Sure, but if you have legal sports betting, then shouldn't it be a little? I don't want to say easier to get a license, but wouldn't that just make sense to expedite it?
Well, it just depends. If they have a limited number of licenses that are available, then sometimes people get shut out.
That's fair.
Companies get shut out. So. All right, there you go. So get yourself down on the Nets and the over is what you and I would agree with there.
I still going to make a play of the day video. I'm not sure if it's going to be basketball or not. That Wizards over looks very, very pretty.
Hard to argue. Hard to argue with the numbers there. It really is. This is, it seems like a little bit of the okey doke, but that Wizards defense is playing so bad, man.
I feel like every Wizards game should just blindly be at least 242.
By the way, this number's gone to 6.5 already. I had the Hawks minus 5.5 an hour and a half ago.
I'm not surprised.
No kidding. If you're looking for information on these games or any others, of course, there is just one place for you to go, and that is winnersandwhiners.com with deep dives and predictions into every game every single day. Always there for you, always free, winnersandwhiners.com. And, yeah, we hope you guys do well. We appreciate you watching today, of course. Hopefully you got some good information that maybe make you a little coinage to go jingle jangle in your pocket. All right, you guys take care. We wish you nothing but the best. Hope every one of those tickets that you hold in your hand turns into cash money back at the window. All right, you guys have a great day. Hey, check us out. We're going to be right around the corner here on our baseball video. But until then, we'll see you next time on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.